Hey everybody, Smart Silver Stacker here. In this video, I'm going to be discussing the potential for a short squeeze in the silver market, what some of the consequences and outcomes we might see as a result of that, what some of the pushback is that we might expect to see, and then also stick around to the end of the video to find out how I plan to position myself to benefit from a potential short squeeze in the precious metals market. So stick around, it's going to be good. Let's get to it. I made a video the other day about a post on the Wall Street Bets subreddit that was calling for a short squeeze in the price of silver. And of course, Wall Street Bets is this subreddit that's been getting a lot of notoriety lately for orchestrating this short squeeze in some of the most heavily shorted stocks on Wall Street, stocks like GameStop and AMC. They've gone up dramatically over the past week or so, and the hedge funds who have these concentrated short positions in these stocks are really suffering as a result. And this is being portrayed sort of as like a little guy goes out and gets the big guy and beats him at his own game. And there definitely is an element of that. The video I made was discussing the potential for this movement to basically shift its focus from stocks like GameStop and AMC to the precious metals market. And since I made that video, I've actually seen more coverage of the topic. Peter Schiff did a podcast about it the other day. It's been around in the financial media, people talking about the Wall Street Bets subreddit beginning to turn its focus to the metals. So that's something that I think still, while a low probability event, it could have significant consequences for us if it does occur. And that's the thing that really concerns me the most, is what some of those potential consequences could be. Because we've already seen some of the online brokerages begin to penalize retail investors and try to take steps to control this sort of revolution by these Redditors, if you want to call it that. Platforms like Robinhood and Ameritrade and a number of the other discount brokerages and these online trading platforms have restricted trading. And some of them have stopped that now, but some of them have kind of put it back in force. They've done things like prevent you from buying shares in some of the stocks that have been shooting up. Like they've limited the ability for their users to purchase GameStop and AMC and all these other stocks. I think at one point Robinhood had limited people to buying just one share of the entities, so that was all that they could invest. Basically exposing the system for what it is. It's being rigged in favor of big money and the investment banks and hedge funds. And, you know, if that's news to you, then you haven't been really paying attention, I don't think, but this just sort of does confirm it. If we were to see a run-up in the price of precious metals, I think that the consequences and the pushback could be even more significant. Like some of the things we might see are trading platforms preventing you from buying equities involved with the precious metals. It wouldn't surprise me if trading activity in ETFs related to precious metals were curtailed, mining stocks. Investors might see their ability to trade any of those paper assets curtailed at any moment. The current situation with GameStop has made that readily apparent. It does make me feel like I need to be a little bit more cautious when dealing with paper derivatives of silver, things like stocks or anything like that, because clearly they can be shut down at a moment's notice. That's where you get into the idea of counterparty risk. And of course, none of what I'm sharing here is financial advice. I'm not telling you how to invest your money or what you should be doing. I'm just giving you my thoughts on what's going on currently with the markets and the price of metals and what in a hypothetical silver short squeeze situation we might end up seeing. I also don't think that it's outside of the realm of possibility that our ability to own physical metal could be curtailed if you saw a short squeeze in the price of precious metals. It wouldn't be the first time that the US has banned the ownership of precious metals. I know that before that was never really enforced, and I suspect that that would probably be sort of the same case if we were to see that sort of policy implemented again. It seems like a very difficult one to enforce, but nonetheless, we could at least see nominal efforts to restrict trading of physical metals as well. I don't think that the narrative will necessarily reflect very well on physical metal investors or metal investors in general. There are historical examples of investors in precious metals kind of being demonized or used as potential scapegoats for monetary crises and monetary phenomenon. For example, in 1971, when Nixon took the world off of the gold standard, basically, and he ended the Bretton Woods system by ending the convertibility of the dollar into gold, he blamed it on speculators.
I have directed the Secretary of the Treasury to take the action necessary to defend the dollar against the speculators,
claiming that he was protecting the dollar from evil speculators who were challenging its value and who were trying to convert it into gold and basically bankrupt the United States and destroy the dollar. And of course, it wasn't speculators who had destroyed the value of the dollar and had ended the ability for it to be backed up by gold. It was all the profligate spending throughout the 1960s on the guns and butter economy, funding foreign wars abroad, and also the beginning of entitlement programs in the United States. So you can see that in the event that there's some kind of instability caused by a run-up in the price of precious metals, it may well be that investors in precious metals are demonized. There's another example, the Hunt brothers, and that's really a topic for its own video. The story of the Hunt brothers, they drove the price up, or supposedly tried to corner the market in silver back in 1980, and the government essentially changed the rules on the COMEX to just shut them down and drive the price of the metal back down. Because the thing about precious metals is rising precious metals prices don't just threaten bullion banks or hedge funds who have short positions. A skyrocketing price of gold or silver is also very bad for the dollar. And so you're really starting to talk about creating some kind of a fundamental instability, or what I would actually view it as just revealing the fundamental instabilities in our monetary system and our economy if you drive up the price of silver very high. So there definitely will be pushback, there will be a reaction, there will be a response if investors are somehow able to trigger a short squeeze in the price of silver. But that doesn't mean that it's not still a good opportunity, and silver is still extremely undervalued in my opinion, and it's a small market, so it wouldn't take a tremendous amount of money flowing into it to drive the price up and trigger some of that short covering, which will increase the price. How I plan to position myself is by owning physical metal. There's nothing wrong with paper derivatives of silver. They give you a lot of advantages. Like if you have SLV, for example, you have access to options. It's very liquid. You can move in and out of the market with the click of a button. But at the same time, trading can be restricted in these assets very easily as well. So it's kind of easy come, easy go. My core position is going to be in physical metal, which I know I can hold in my hand, and nobody can restrict my ability to use that electronically. Nobody can just shut me out of my physical silver. I don't have an account that can be hacked or restricted, or I can get locked out of. When you have the physical metal in your hand, you're not subject to that counterparty risk, and that's a huge benefit of being in physical metal. And if there is a short squeeze in the price of metal, don't be surprised if the premiums on physical metal go up dramatically. If futures contracts holders on the COMEX begin demanding physical delivery of metal and the shorts have to go out on the market and find actual physical metal to satisfy these shorts that they have, the price for the physical metal that you can actually hold in your hand will skyrocket relative even to the paper price, even if the paper price is inflated and goes higher. Physical metal is what you want to have your hands on, I think, at the end of the day. That's what I want my core position to be in. If there is a short squeeze in the price of the metal, I think that the real winners are going to be people who have the physical metal that they can hold in their hand. And that about wraps it up, everybody. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. And if you want to learn more about that Reddit post where the user was calling for a short squeeze in silver, then check out this video right here. Thank you all very much for watching. I'll catch you next time. Smart Silver Stacker out.